customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
The Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. It is a Power Rankings Tuesday here in the Ingles Studio. Yeah, you got to remember to turn off your speaker on your phone.
That was my phone.
Jeremy's got his cans going. He can't hear. His phone is making some kind of racket. I'm like, hey, showtime.
Oh, here's the thing. I got a lot of buttons over here.
You got a lot of buttons over there. It is a Power Rankings Tuesday here in the Sportsocracy. Welcome into the program. As always, you can hear us on 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400, and everywhere on the iHeartRadio app here on ESPN Asheville. And you can see us on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link. Subscribe to the channel. You can join us in the chat, and you'll want to join us in the chat today. I have a feeling that the chat's going to be all lit up with some of the rankings. Just they blow my mind.
We did a little something. I teased this yesterday. We're doing something a little different with the power rankings today. The bottom 16, that'll be the first hour of the show. We're going to try to say something nice because your season's over. There are a couple of you might make the playoffs. You really don't want to. Maybe I'll throw out a little draft tidbit for you. Maybe we'll discuss who I took in the 3-round mock draft. Whatever. It's the second 2 hours of this show that I think are going to get a little feisty. Mm-hmm. Because there are a couple teams who are ranked in places that when I showed them Tank, he got very angry. The only problem is he couldn't come up with a reason to get me to change my mind.
Well, I mean, we all know what you're like when you get a thought in your head. It's hard to change your mind.
Well, here's the thing: the best argument I heard was, no. You did not miss your calling as a defense attorney. I will tell you that much.
No, 100%. I did not.
Mr. Spencer, why do you claim your client didn't do it? He didn't.
And I feel like that'll be the response from a lot of people is you'll say the ranking,
you'll get angry,
and we'll go, no, you can't do that. But why?
But for why?
Well, because it's too soon. Like, that's the best option that I had on at least three of the choices.
Because you ought not do that. That's the best you got.
Right. We always like to say we don't overreact. We don't overreact week to week.
And I don't think either one of these things are overreactions. Yeah. I think the mid-tier of the NFL is very close. The difference between 11 and 19 is not that much.
No, it's not. And it's the jump in numbers that you see. For just for an example, one of the teams, not saying who, but one of the teams.
They have a kitty cat for a mascot.
Just 3 weeks ago was in the bottom 5. And 3 weeks.
They weren't in the bottom 5. They hadn't been in the bottom 5 in a long time.
No.
They were 24 is what you told me.
Excuse me. So
there's 32 teams in the NFL.
Just outside the bottom 5. They're in the bottom 10.
Yes.
And 3 weeks later,
they're in the top 10.
They may, well, I wasn't going to give it away. I was going to say they may or may not be inside the top 10.
Yeah. You don't know who we're talking about. You can assume.
Everybody knows who we're talking about.
That's not the one that
already gave it away. You can't give hints like that. They know we're not talking about the Carolina Panthers.
That might be. Never know. Big fan of Sam Darnold.
that he is. Power Rankings Tuesday here in the Sportsocracy. Let's go ahead. Opening drive.
Yep, Buttons. Me and Buttons are not. You know, we're just not getting along today. You remember that thing? There it is.
There we go. It is the opening drive brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Yeah, you can go in there. You can check them out. 629 Brevard Road. Ask them about the Fred Anderson family plan, which you see proudly displayed on the YouTube stream behind Jeremy's head. I'm a member of the family. I have the family plan.
Lifetime oil changes, all the things you need to keep your car in pristine condition. 629 Brevard Road. Tell them the two formerly fat guys of the Sportsocracy sent you.
They'll give you a $250 bonus on top of whatever your trade-in is worth. They've got it stocked up on new vehicles, or if you're like me and that's not your thing, you're not opposed to hand-me-downs. Certified pre-owns, way to go.
They have there's a Jeep truck which I didn't know existed. That I pass it every time I go over there, and I'm like, I could buy that.
You're falling in love with the truck.
So somebody needs to buy that to keep me from doing it.
Now's not the time.
Correct.
At least not for that kind of investment.
My interest rate would be $29.99. Because I went through this period where I didn't like paying bills.
I think we've all been through that.
Yeah, most people did it in college. I did it in my early 30s.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit different. We do say day in and day out, you are like
I'm a big dumb bear.
Child.
I'm a big dumb bear, folks. I do as I'm told.
That's right. NFL Power Rankings. Obviously, it is. It's getting down to that point. We're a month away from the playoffs here. And there are some teams that are making their pushes. You may be surprised. You may not be surprised at some of the rankings this week. Those kitty cats from the Motor City.
Well, there's a lot of kitty
the
cats.
Rankings.
Let me put it this way. If you're a fan of kitty cats, your team is probably higher than you think they are.
Stock up for everyone.
Stock up for the feline world.
That's right.
Let's go.
That's right.
If it's got a tail and purrs, today's going to be a good day.
We will do all of the bottom teams in the first hour here, and then as Jeremy said, coming up in the next couple of hours, we're going to go through the teams that actually have a shot, and he's ranked them by the ones that he thinks can make the most noise in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Which is where the gristle is going to be with a couple of our feline friends.
We had an NFL team making a big move today. New wide receiver signed. It's Cole Beasley.
Woo!
Cole Beasley's going to the Buffalo Bills. Nobody Cole Beasley's like the Buffalo Bills.
Woo!
It is a somber day, as obviously the news has come out about Mike Leach passing away at the age of 61. We will talk about that coming up later on in the program, what an impact he has had and the lasting impact that he will have on the college football game. And, of course,
you will actually get to see that I do have feelings at the end of this here show.
And, of course, the pregame, the halftime, and the postgame will never be as entertaining without Mike Leach behind that microphone.
Just a lope. Guarantee you, he's on my side.
Yeah.
One of the funniest speeches I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. So thoughts and prayers to the Leach family. Obviously, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. He did not make it after the massive heart attack on Sunday. So we will talk about that, like I said, later on in the program. Power rankings, though, let's go ahead and get into the poo tier of the NFL.
It's not good. It's all not good. And at number 32, the Houston Texans.
It's not going to change.
It almost did.
No.
You almost did a thing. If they had beaten the Dallas Cowboys, I would have ceremonially put them at 31. Because that game told me far more about the Dallas Cowboys than it did the Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm.
When you have to play two quarterbacks because you don't actually have one, and your second one is not the one that you started last week, that tells me everything I need to know about you.
Mm-hmm.
However, you're going to have two top 15 picks.
Yep.
In the mock draft, I gave you Bryce Young, I gave you Michael Mayer, and that is a nice start to your offense not being the poo water that it currently is.
You Damian Pierce really well.
And now he's out for 2 weeks.
Other than that,
I do love that everybody lost their mind about Eno Benjamin. Fantasy football, oh, he's so good. And I'm sitting here going, no, he's not. And the day Houston says, well, Damian Pierce is going to miss 2 weeks. Cutting Eno Benjamin. Yep. Going back to Rex Burkhead.
Number 31.
The Denver Broncos. Let's ride.
Oh, it continues to be awful. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. I'm still kind of baffled at this whole theory that we should just stop it now. That we should just pull the plug on this thing. Eat the $240 million and just get on with it.
Did you hear the leaked tape from the owner's box in Denver?
No.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
The Walton family, one of the richest families in the world, going, this is going to hurt. this is going to be worse than any recall we've ever had in a Walmart.
That's all right. It's just fine. They'll just add more self-checkouts, and then that'll solve all their problems.
The eight cashiers that company still has left are in danger.
Exactly.
Because of Russell Wilson.
I don't know.
But we almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs. You didn't mean to.
I don't know what you do at this point.
And then I'm pretty sure we actually witnessed Russell Wilson having a religious experience on the field. There was a white light, and he was being told not to go into it.
The most disastrous trade in the NFL.
Oh, it's even worse.
Probably NFL history.
Yeah, after the show, we'll have some NFL draft reels coming out. Yeah, when you see what Seattle got with your pick, it makes it so much worse.
So much worse. Right. It only has the potential to get so much worse, depending on how well Seattle uses the draft pick.
I wonder if Russell Wilson 20 years from now will run a very strange Senate campaign. I mean, the last god-awful trade in the NFL, Herschel Walker, he did that. Didn't end up his way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it ended up that way for Russell Wilson.
Number 30.
I could see Russell Wilson running for office.
100%.
Russell Wilson, Senate 2032. Let's ride! Number 30, the Chicago Bears. I'm going to say something, and I've said it a bunch, and I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to look right into this camera to do it. Will you stop justifying Justin Fields to me? Just stop doing it, okay? The Jets are not sad they didn't take him. The 49ers are not sad they didn't take him. Nobody said they didn't take him. They're looking at you going, you realize the weapons on this team are better than you think they are, right? He never wins. He's 5-17 as a starter. Mm-hmm. And yet every single time I say anything about him, our comments just go crazy. You're just a Justin Fields hater. No, I'm a hater of bad quarterbacks. I don't care who you are. Your name is irrelevant to me. I'm right there with Zach Wilson, too. Chicago. It's not good. In the mock draft, I opined, if I was Chicago, I would be looking to move him while he had value. And no, they would never do that. Call Tampa Bay right now. I promise you, they will give you more than you think. And way more than he is worth.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are desperate. You're not, because you're going to have a pick at number 2.
You'll have a number 2 pick. You'll have a lot of money to spend in the offseason. Yeah.
And you've got Darnell Mooney.
It's not the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You've got Darnell Mooney. You've got Chase Claypool. You've got Cole Kmet, 2 good running backs, and you add Will Levis to that. That's not terrible. Plus the capital you get back from Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sounds crazy to say because, well, he's been so good in fantasy football. Analytically, he's been the worst quarterback in the NFL in the last 20 years.
And if you can get some decent capital out of Justin Fields, then maybe you can,
It's exponentially more right now than it will ever be again.
Add a couple more playmakers on that defense, and maybe you got something going here.
Exactly.
Because I was shocked to find out that the offensive line hasn't been as bad as I thought they were.
Every player on the offensive line that starts on the offensive line currently is in the top half of the NFL at their position. You can tell me how bad the things around Justin Fields are. It's just not true.
Mm-hmm. Number 29.
The Arizona Cardinals.
That was fun, wasn't it?
And that was with Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray.
With Colt McCoy,
It's going to have a lot of time to be playing Call of Duty. Now that he's
torn ACL. That was one of those that you knew the second he went down. Very rarely do things like that happen, non-contact, and it's not bad.
Right.
Bad.
Well, you knew by the reaction of everybody. I mean, hell, within seconds they were saying it's foregone conclusion is it's going to be an ACL.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of people don't know. The preliminary on-field test for the ACL is about 99% accurate. So if they do that and the towel is on the head, he already knows.
Mm-hmm.
And he already knew. And it's very unfortunate. Cliff Kingsbury's not going to make it through this. And my spicy hot take is that I do think he's the next head coach at Mississippi State.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
I've had several people ask me. I mean, and you don't want to ask that question today with it being the day that.
Right.
But just.
What are you going to do?
I mean, because who would want to take it?
Mm-hmm.
You're replacing
an
absolute
legend. You can see where
legend.
Cliff would want to do that as he played for.
It's the perfect way to honor Coach Leach and Cliff to have a place to land.
Yeah.
And that's all the credence I'm going to give that today. But I've been asked that question several times. So.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, plenty of time to talk about that in other programs, and not when not when it's this fresh.
Oh, correct.
On the mind. Anyhow, Arizona Cardinals. Yeah. It's obviously Cliff Kingsbury, like you said, not going to make it.
Oh, no. I hope he has his house on the market right now.
Right. Long after the season is over, it'll be hours before they make that call. Number 28. It's a team that, well, they deserve to be here. They're the defending champions, but they still deserve to be at 28. We'll talk about the LA Rams coming up next.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville, or call them at 828-365-1663.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Ingles Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at Asheville Outlets as a reminder of the needs of so many families in Western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations. Donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville Outlets so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in Western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this season.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
The hugs, the joy, even the sleepless nights. Whatever you get from parenthood, you always want to give your children everything. And the UNest app makes it easy to save for their future. The UNest app puts smart investing tools right in the palm of your hand. Plus, you'll grow your UNest account with every purchase you make from over 150 top brands like Disney Plus and DoorDash. Start building your child's financial future. Download the UNest app from the App Store or Google Play. See terms and conditions at unest.co. That's UNEST.co.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, These factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
Oh, there's only really one way to go, but up for the defending Super Bowl champions. And they got a new quarterback, and they got to win.
Oh, it's Baker Mayfield time, the savior of the franchise.
It only took 46 hours for the fortunes to change for this team. What happened?
Josh McDaniels happened.
With the comeback victory over the Las Vegas Raiders last Thursday night, Baker Mayfield. I mean, hey, at least he got a bright spot. At least he got a bright spot in the debut.
Oh, yeah,
this
that's
is
fantastic.
only going south.
Because he's only had a few of those in his life. And this week, you play at the Green Bay Packers. And before the season's over, you have to play at the Chargers and at the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand you and the Chargers share a stadium, but still, this is not going to go well. I don't. There's no team in more flux in the NFL than the Los Angeles Rams.
No doubt about it.
I don't know where it goes. I don't know how it's going to look. I don't know how many of these guys are committed to being around long term. But you do have talent. And that is one thing to look at. When this team is completely healthy, you do have talent. The Rams and the Broncos, I look at them the same way. They're 1-2 in the NFL in terms of salary cap dollars lost to IR and days spent on IR by day one starters. I mean, there is something to be said for that. And yes, you're in the bottom five, but there is at least talent on the roster.
There is, but you're still not doing anything.
It could be worse. You could be the next team. At number 27, the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, about that. I'd say something nice here. You're going to lose more games and probably have the ability to draft a better quarterback than you think.
I mean, they defense okay.
The defense is way better than people think.
They defense okay. But other than that, I mean, this team is awful. They can't hold on to the ball. They can't sustain drives. That offense is terrible.
Well, you need a quarterback. And you've needed a quarterback. Lather, rinse, repeat. We do this every single year.
Mm-hmm.
The difference this year is right now you would have the 7th pick in the draft. And if you keep losing, which is entirely possible, it could be even better than that.
Which they should keep losing.
I will be reasonably shocked if they don't. I mean, you're at the Vikings this week.
I mean, they played the Texans last week of the season, so they...
And I'm not sure you don't lose that. Bad teams love winning the last week of the season.
Absolutely.
And ask me how I know. Trevor Lawrence doesn't play for my team because we beat the Rams one time.
But let's not act like the Indianapolis Colts are not one of those. They are one of those bad teams that could win the last week of the season. That could end up in another tie.
I mean, it's possible.
Right.
Houston they'll have the number one pick locked up by then. So sometimes you will see these scrappy little teams win a game that they're not supposed to.
Vikings, Chargers, at the Giants. Those are the next three before they play the Houston Texans in the season finale. I don't like you to win any of those games.
No. The good thing is that you're going to hire a real-life coach because the Jeff Saturday thing has gone as poorly as we thought it would. And you really need to fixate on the offense because the defense is not bad. It's just you constantly put – and the more shocking part of that is how often the defense is put in bad situations by how bad the offense is.
Yeah.
No player in the NFL has regressed more analytically than Quentin Nelson, which is shocking to me. I think it's a one-year blip, but everything you add this year should be on the offense.
I would believe I would believe that's a 1 year blip as well. Everything else has been so horrible there. I feel like it's almost hard to expect a guy to maintain when everything is crumbling around him.
Oh, it's weird you say that based on the next two teams on the power rankings. At number 26, the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, who are you thinking of here? Who's the guy that this team has crumbled around?
Alvin Kamara.
Is it Alvin Kamara?
Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave, who I feel like sit around sometimes and just go, man, this escalated quickly.
Cameron
didn't it?
Jordan.
He's another in the top 5 of players that have regressed the most in one calendar year.
Mm-hmm.
Look, the defense has not been good, but it's not because it's not talented. It's, again, because of the bad situations. They haven't had the turnover luck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Indianapolis has been the worst team in the league in terms of turnover differential, and yet that defense has been able to stand up and keep them from being just demolished. The Saints have not had that same luck. The Tyrann Mathieu thing has not worked out particularly well. And Dennis Allen, and you heard it here first. He's a one-year coach, and Sean Payton very well may be the coach of this team next year.
Mm-hmm.
That talk is getting louder by the minute. I've been hearing that for several weeks. I mean, I want him to go to the Chargers selfishly because I want him to have a quarterback, and I don't see a path of that happening in New Orleans. But that talk of Sean Payton could be the next coach of the New Orleans Saints is getting it's at that low rumble.
Uh-huh.
It's almost like that earthquake that happened in Hendersonville over the weekend. It wasn't a lot. It was very startling when you heard it at first. It didn't necessarily shake pictures off the walls, but you felt it.
I just don't know why he would do that. I don't know why he would do that if he's got
prove
another
a point.
option.
To prove a point. It's exactly what he did.
Well, I think he's already proved the point.
But he had to step away to prove the point of this is what you actually have.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's time to come off some doubloons, get that salary cap situation right, and get me a quarterback.
Right. Or else I'm going to take one of these other jobs.
Or I'll take a job where there is a quarterback.
Right. Or I will take the Chargers job. Or I will take I'm still going to say Dallas Cowboys because I still feel like if this thing comes off the rails, Mike McCarthy's not going to make it through.
Well,
now with the expectation, I mean, because now the expectation's there.
Well, Ascendo in our YouTube comment said, how are they supposed to be this scary defense when they're on the field 40 minutes a game?
Mm-hmm.
Bingo. That's the point. And I think that's the point Sean Payton was trying to prove. Now, it may not elicit him coming back, and it might. But he has proven that point of this offense needs help. Which is a perfect segue into our team at number 25.
Number 25.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Woo, fire them cannons, by golly.
Put more powder in them things.
No, we don't need more powder because we can't score.
There's has that cannon been fired this year?
Only once or thrice. And, more than that, we don't need to. There's a whole storage area filled with all that gunpowder.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to need a recreationist to come in here and service that cannon because it hadn't been fired in a while.
Yeah,
it was nice to hear Tom on his podcast at least take credit for how much of this is on him.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
he knows.
My new favorite way to discern whether you have a big boy quarterback or not. Do I ever have to utter the phrase blank that they said on their podcast? I've never said that about a quarterback that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
I've never said that about Joe Burr, or Josh Allen, or Pat Mahomes. I said it about Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
I said it about Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Does he
good.
have a podcast?
He's been on a series of them.
Okay.
He said some escalatingly stupid things on podcasts. I don't know if they were his or somebody else's.
Right. Aaron Rodgers.
There's
Aaron Rodgers, that's a great one.
Yeah, leave the podcast to us. All right, well, that's what we do because you do that thing we can't do. You don't think you could do what we do.
Yeah. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, god-awful, terrible. Don't win the division. Just keep losing.
It's a no good.
Just keep losing.
It's a no good, very bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, I saw a movie, and we'll talk about it in the 4 o'clock hour.
Nice.
And it was awesome.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it was
Jeremy
awesome.
saw a Christmas movie he liked. Must mean there's a lot of sophomoric humor.
you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
All right, Jeremy, what's your just a bit outside today?
If you watched the Manning cast last night, you already know this story, but as soon as I heard it, there was no way that I wasn't telling this story. Do you know the name David Ben? I think it's David Ben.
Don't know that I know, Ben.
He was a Pro Bowler in the NFL. I don't know if it's Ben or Bine. I looked at it and I second-guessed myself right before I said it. He was a Pro Bowler.
Okay.
That's a thing that happened, and I didn't know that. He was a long snapper for, at the time, the San Diego Chargers.
Okay, well, there you go. That's why you didn't know.
Well, last night on the Manning cast, Peyton Manning had Bill Simmons on his show. Long-time New England Patriot fan. Big Boston guy. Well, they started discussing this story of Bill invited David Ben to be the long snapper at the Pro Bowl, but for a very weird reason. It wasn't because he was the best long snapper in the league. It was because at the time he was dating Pamela Anderson. And Bill thought it would be encouraging for the guys to see Pamela laying around the pool. Well, there's only one problem. He didn't bring her. And apparently there was an awkward interaction between David Ben and Bill Belichick where he said, "Hey, where's Pam?" He said, I didn't bring her. Well, then why did I invite you here? And there was an obscenity inserted in it that I can't say here.
Nice.
That's the most human thing I've ever heard Bill Belichick do in the 30 years I've had to deal with him. You invited a guy to the Pro Bowl because he was dating Pamela Anderson? That's a pro Bill Belichick story. I had to tell it.
That's awesome. A smart man as well.
Absolutely.
You do realize why we brought you here.
Apparently this guy did a podcast and told this story, so it confirmed what Peyton had said.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wish, this is one time I wish that show ran like ours, where in the comments you could ask questions, because I would love to raise my hand and go, how did a long snapper for the Chargers get Pamela Anderson? I'll take your answer off the air.
I ask myself that question about Pete Davidson all the time.
I ask that question about myself all the time.
Well, I mean, there is that, but I didn't want to throw that shot. Pete Davidson's the one that I just don't get. Like, he's trading in all these hotties, and he looks like Beetlejuice.
I was about to say, if Beetlejuice was a real-life person, it would be Pete Davidson. And he dyes his hair. Guys, fellas, solid piece of advice. And this coming from a guy with a mullet. Don't dye your hair.
Although I hear he's well built, so apparently
apparently you read websites that I don't frequent. So, and who's shocked? Show of hands?
No, because I had to Google, how did Pete Davidson smash that? Like, it's the only explanation that I found.
At Sports Tank ESPN.
Speaking of podcasts and speaking of Tom Brady, it came out on the Let's Go podcast that Dre Greenlaw picked him off on Sunday, and he signed the ball for him, which I think is just a stand-up move.
Yeah, this is another thing that you and I do not see the same way.
Why?
You intercept me after we get absolutely dog-walked, and you come up to me with a Sharpie like, hey, will you sign the ball? I would have thrown that ball 14 rows deep in the crowd.
Well, see, and that's why, Jeremy, you would not be you would not be considered a gamer like Tom Brady.
In Tom Brady's winning years, what do you think would have happened? You think Tom would have signed the ball? Because I don't.
Well, and also in those years, how many people would do that? I mean, it's a thing to pick off Tom Brady. Like, if you're Dre Greenlaw, I mean, hell, Dre Greenlaw was probably born his rookie year.
Brock Purdy was born after Tom Brady was
drafted.
So
he's lived his entire life watching the Tom Brady saga, and then he gets a chance to pick him off in an NFL game, and he does it. And Tom signs the ball. And Tom said on the podcast, he said it's he's happy that he's got the ball. He said, frankly, it was poo for me. In fact, the entire game was poo for me. But I'm glad that he's got the ball, and I'm glad that I can be a good sport. And to me, it's just part of the part of the charm. I mean, hell, if you're going to suck on the football field, at least not suck at the things off the field. And to me, that's one of those things. Be a gracious loser. Give the kid a thrill.
Yeah, I think the thrill was beating him 35-7.
Of course it was. You still want that autographed on your mantle.
I'm not and I know this is weird because I have autographs literally all around this. I've never asked a person in person for an autograph or a picture. That's not a thing I'm going to do.
I feel like you would, though.
I've never done it, and I never will. Now, if you sign something and I can buy it, totally different.
Why? That's weird.
Oh, because I think that's I think that's the most amateur hour thing of, hey, I ran into you. Can you sign this thing for me? I totally understand. I mean, if you want to do it, more power to you. I'm just not going to do it.
Right.
We've met a lot of cool people doing this.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have I ever said, hey, you want to take a picture? Never once, and I never will.
Yeah.
Ever. The one person that we have met since we've been doing this that we got a picture of was Bert Kreischer. It was because you wanted the picture, not me. And it was done with your phone.
Was it?
And I have the weirdest look on my face ever.
Yeah, nobody was ready for that, apparently.
No.
At least the Greenes were not ready for that picture because your wife made me take it down.
Yes. Or just crop her out.
I did crop her out.
Yes.
I was like, oh, okay, I'll just crop her out.
It was like Barney Stinson.
You can't post a picture of me like that on the internet. And I went, why? It's fine.
That's she's like Barney Stinson. She doesn't take a bad picture, and you caught the only one that has ever been recorded.
I was going to say, oh, she takes a bad one because once I looked at it, I went, oh!
Oh, now I see.
Yeah, that's not as flattering as it should be for you. Okay. Anyhow. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Back to the power rankings. Week 15 in the NFL. Coming up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Big winter storm system taking shape in the heart of the country. It rolls our way for midweek with some 1-inch rains here in the valley Wednesday night, Thursday morning. 35 our low tonight with increasing clouds. Rain chances going up Wednesday afternoon, high 47. Heaviest rain Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. And then rain Thursday morning with a high of 50 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. This fall, there are updated COVID-19 booster shots designed to help protect against recent Omicron variants. If it's been at least 2 months since your primary series or booster, schedule your updated COVID-19 booster dose at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Holiday shopping is exhausting. I hit like 30 stores already. You?
I went to Verizon.
Oh, and?
And that's it.
Seriously?
Seriously. I got the new iPhone 14 Pro on Verizon, plus more Apple gifts like Apple Watch SE, iPad, and Beats Fit Pro, also on Verizon. A value of up to $1,900.
Seriously?
Yeah, the iPhone 14 Pro is perfect for my teenager. Its new Pro camera system takes amazing pictures, even in low light. She's gonna love it.
So who gets the Apple gifts?
Oh, the Apple gifts? I'm keeping those for myself.
Kinda like a finder's fee?
More like a holiday miracle.
Seriously.
This holiday, get to your Verizon store for their best deal of the year. A service plan is required for gifts. 5G phone, up to $999.99 device payment purchase or full retail purchase with newer upgrade smartphone line required. Less up to $1,000 trade-in promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for offer details. Up to $1,900 value based on iPhone, Apple Watch, iPad, and Beats.
At Lowe's, every pro is an MVP to us. MVP's Pro Rewards members visit Lowe's now and earn bonus points on select products and brands like Power Pro. Then redeem for Lowe's gift cards and more. Offer valid through 1/8/23. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms. Points expire 12/31/23.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumbing a bag of hammers.
Yeah, Jeremy saw a Christmas movie last night, and apparently he liked it. So you know there's got to be something screwed up with this movie.
I'm pretty sure it had me in it.
We'll reveal what this. There's a mullet Christmas somewhere?
Oh, well, there should be.
There should be.
There's going to be a mullet 12 Days of Christmas. I wrote the song. I can't say it on this show, but we have social medias for a reason.
Nice. Jeremy saw a Christmas movie. We'll be doing that in the next hour. So be sure to stay tuned with us for Jeremy's always entertaining and most of the time really bad movie reviews. We are strolling along here with the Week 15 power rankings in the NFL. The Buccaneers were number 25, and at number 24,
the Cleveland Browns. Look, there's one way that this can go well. You use the end of the season, not to make a playoff run, to acclimate Deshaun Watson to Nick Chubb and Amari Cooper. He seems to already have a nice rapport with DPJ and David Njoku. Mm-hmm. But where in the world did Nick Chubb go? Like, Deshaun Watson showed up, and all of a sudden Nick Chubb is not a part of this offense anymore. You need to fix that.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of gnashing of teeth of, well, they struggled with the Texans for a bit and lost to the Bengals since Deshaun Watson came back. What'd you expect?
Right.
I mean, what'd you think was going to happen?
Right. Did you expect that it was going to come in and just be sharp as a tack right off the bat?
I mean, and I hate to tell you this, but you're probably going to lose to the Ravens on Saturday. Probably going to lose at the Commanders. May lose at the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
So that pick that you sent to Houston is going to be better than you wanted it to be. But you go into this offseason with your quarterback, you got to figure something out about that defense. I mean, if there's a head that's going to roll here, it should be the defensive coordinator because that has been a nightmare. It's still a talented team.
Yeah.
It's just this was going to be a blip year. I mean, you don't have your starting quarterback for 11 weeks. What did you think was going to happen?
Exactly. Number 23.
The Green Bay Packers.
Why?
I mean, you didn't play, so it's
yeah. But here's the thing: is like I just look at this team and go, why are we still doing this? How is your defense still this bad?
Oh, Joe Barry's that's the head that will roll in Green Bay,
100%.
And it should be. That defense at times looked like it is being called off a play sheet from 1997, and having this much talent. And being this bad at times is almost irreconcilable.
Do you feel like there's some growth coming for this team, though? I mean,
in the last few weeks?
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to win some games that will probably surprise you. I like them a lot against the Rams this week. But this is a lost year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the great thing for Green Bay, Jordan Love has basically already let it be known. If Aaron Rodgers is here, I want to trade him. Trade him immediately for whatever you can get for him.
Mm-hmm. Somebody will give you a 7th-round pick,
Look,
maybe.
Brock Purdy has shown that there are quarterbacks out there, okay? Jordan Love, he ain't it. So don't think you're settled at that moving forward.
No. And the problem I have is I don't see anything changing with this team.
I do. I see the receivers growing a year. I mean, look, I said this in the 3-round mock draft. I can't give you another receiver because you have 3 young ones already. You need them to develop. Christian Watson has been good when he's been on the field. I see the path to this team being better a year from now. But there are things that have to be tightened up, and the biggest one is the defense.
Mm-hmm. Number 22.
The Atlanta Falcons. This is one of the best rushing teams in the NFL. Did you know that?
And I guess it makes sense, but I still don't – I'm not scared of it.
I'm not scared of it. I'm interested to see what you get out of Desmond Ridder.
Like you said, you told me what was that? They rank third in rushing offense,
something like that
in the NFL, which is ridiculous. But they do it a lot, and it's the only thing they can do.
Early first day betting trajectory, Vegas is hammered on Atlanta this week, plus the 4 in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see what you get out of Desmond Ridder. I don't think that's a quarterback for the future, and it tells me pretty much everything I need to know that you're giving him a 4-game tryout.
Mm-hmm.
If you really thought this was the guy, you've had multiple opportunities to do this.
Yeah. I don't think they think this is the guy. I think he's trying out for the backup spot.
I have a slightly more conspiracy theory idea.
Ooh, do tell.
I fully believe Atlanta's going to be in the market for a quarterback that fits the offense. Ryan Tannehill. I don't know what that was. It was a frog in my throat.
Oh, is this after Aaron Rodgers goes to Tennessee?
No. This is I just think I'm looking at the writing on the wall in Tennessee of, why would you continue to do this? I mean, the Aaron Rodgers thing doesn't make any sense, but I'm not telling you what's going to happen there. I've heard low rumblings that Tannehill could be the guy.
Yeah, there's just one national host that cannot let that go.
Correct. So I feel like Arthur Smith is giving you a 4-game shot of Desmond Ridder to go, okay, let's tamp that down, because he's not a good thrower of the football.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got 2 high-level weapons in Drake London and Kyle Pitts. Whether it's Will Levis, whether it's Ryan Tannehill, I feel like somebody that can come off the play action and use those 2 is the future. And they're going to give this 4-game little screenshot to show you why it's not Desmond Ridder.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so they're out to prove that he's
Atlanta has nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Playing Marcus Mariota at this point doesn't make any sense. Because even if you make the playoffs, do you want to?
No, you don't. And that's why you go to Desmond Ridder. You lose games. You see what you got. But to me, this is not a tryout for him for the starting spot next year. That's going to go to somebody else, whether it be a rookie, whether it be somebody in free agency. They're trying him out to see how long he's going to stay on this roster.
And that's I feel like coaches should do this more often, because you get fan bases that get things stuck in their head, and then the public narrative starts to sway against you. Arthur Smith is a smart guy, and I kind of feel like this is, hey, just get a look at this, and you'll see why we didn't do this for the first 14 weeks of the year.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Take a quick break, and then we'll round out the rest of the bottom 16 next.
The Ingles Advantage isn't just about savings or the best quality food for your family. It's more than that. It's the advantage of being a part of a community. That's why we provide over 2 million pounds of food every year through regular donations and programs like the Ingles Giving Tree, Food for Thought, and the Ingles Fill a Backpack program. It's the right thing to do, and we know that you would do the same. Ingles, your neighbor for over 50 years.
In the past year, I've lost more than 90 pounds with the PhD weight loss program. PhD has helped me learn healthy nutrition. They've helped me learn a better way to live, how to get more sleep, how to get more active, and obviously how to put only the good things into my body. I never thought there would be a program out there that could give me the kind of results that I have seen with Dr. Ashley Lucas in this program.
I did not have a ton of weight to lose. I had just gotten very lazy in my food choices, and I got a little, say, chunky. In just under a year on PhD, I have gone from one of the highest weights I've ever seen back to my high school weight, and I've slid all the way into a brand new wardrobe thanks to the planning program of PhD Weight Loss.
And if you're like me and you struggle sometimes to find motivation, that's why they have a group of dedicated health coaches that will not only help you out with the problems that you're having, but they will help keep you motivated throughout the process. It's myphdweightloss.com.
dancing crew. Trip for two. Nailed the final interview. Game with Doug. Brand new mug. Come here, kid. Give me a hug. The more you want to do, the more we want to do. New COVID-19 boosters designed for recent Omicron variants are now available. Learn about eligibility and schedule a free, updated booster today at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves. Got some advice from our helpful elves. Oh, so many gifts to explore when you go to Total Wine and more. Bottles so delightful, whoa, whoa, whoa. Priced so amazingly low, low, low.
Love what you find. Always lowest prices at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Find us at the Sportsocracy on all the social medias. And Week 15 Power Rankings, number 21, the Carolina Panthers. The Sam Darnold-led Carolina Panthers with a little bit of life the last few weeks. 4-4 under Steve Wilkes.
I mean, the defense is giving you life. And it's weird that Sam Darnold can be just efficient enough when the defense is there and the running game is working and the offensive line is, I don't know, at an NFL level. And that's all I've been trying to say this entire time. You chase Baker Mayfield, which I always thought was painfully stupid. I've already seen him with weapons like this and a defense like this and a running game like this, and he was an abject disaster. I'm going to say something that's probably not going to sit well with some people. I feel like a lot of this has been put on Matt Rule, and none of it has been put on the foot of the GM. And now Steve Wilkes is basically proving that, I don't know that you got that exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
The Baker thing never made any sense. I screamed it from the rooftops. This makes no sense. Now you put Sam Darnold in this position, and weird, good things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to be tremendously shocked if this team wins this division. They go 8-9, beat Tampa Bay in Tampa 3 weeks from now, and they win the division. And then we have one of the most awkward moments ever with the, I've given up on this team until we have a coach. So how about them playoff tickets?
Yeah, you want to come get some playoff tickets?
Yeah, I'm greatly looking forward to that.
No, we know exactly what that's going to be. Bank of America Stadium turns into Jerry World. It'll be all the Dallas Cowboys in the house for that playoff game. Number 20.
There's nothing I want more in this life than the Carolina Panthers to knock the Dallas Cowboys out of the playoffs.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
In a stadium full of Cowboys fans. It's more realistic than you think.
Not going to happen. Number 20.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, that's how bad the bottom 12 in this league is.
Mm-hmm.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are 20. And I couldn't put them any lower no matter how hard I tried.
Yep.
They are the most ham sandwich in the history of creation.
Mm-hmm.
It's there. It'll keep you alive. It's not doing much for you.
Nope.
The weird thing is that the defense hasn't been more consistent since TJ Watt came back.
Mm-hmm.
They've been able to keep you from doing things. They're just not making the big play. which is a little odd to me.
Number 19.
The Las Vegas Raiders. I can't have them any lower, and I don't care what happened to with the LA Rams. It's a poorly coached team, but this is the line.
You still have talent. You still have the ability to have those big games. Whereas I don't feel like the other teams below you really have have as much of a ceiling.
There's just more talent here. And I've seen you be good. I just haven't seen it happen a lot. And they're the first team where it's not, hey, the offense is really good, but the defense is dog water, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the defense for the Raiders be good at times, really good pressure. I've seen the offense be good at times. I've never really seen both at the same time, which is the unsettling part. But for me, this was the line of demarcation. And it's ironic because this is the line where nobody below here outside of the NFC South, which is a whole different bird, really has a playoff aspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Every team above this can make the playoffs and could theoretically do something with it. So we rank those 1 to 18 in ones that I feel like could actually do something in the playoffs.
Yes, indeed. Playoff picture still open for some teams. We will give you that over the next 2 hours, as well as we will obviously pay our respects once again to Mike Leach, passing away today at the age of 61, leaving a great hole, not only at Mississippi State University, but also in the world of college football. Plus, we'll have all the other parts of the Sportsocracy that you know and love. 2 more hours to go. Stick with us. Sports Center is coming up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Big winter storm system taking shape in the heart of the country. It rolls our way for midweek with some 1-inch rains here in the valley Wednesday night, Thursday morning. 35 our low tonight with increasing clouds. Rain chances going up Wednesday afternoon, high 47. Heaviest rain Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. And then rain Thursday morning with a high of 50 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Warehouse of Asheville. Mattress Warehouse, your warehouse full of solutions to every sleep problem this holiday season. For a limited time on select items, buy a bed, get a second bed free. Get next day delivery and 0% interest financing. Only at Mattress Warehouse.
At Progressive, you can get 24/7 protection, even if you break the space-time continuum.
Wait, every time you wake up is the same day? That's terrible.
Don't worry, I call Progressive. Their 24/7 protection still works even if my day does last forever.
Yeah, but don't you want it to end?
Are you kidding? I win the lottery whenever I want and never regret anything. It's the best.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Progressive offers more than a great price when you bundle home and auto. We offer round-the-clock protection, which literally means anytime. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers, and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
This is Gene Degeroff, voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Developing story from ESPN's Adam Schefter. Test results confirmed Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray suffered a season-ending torn ACL last night. Colt McCoy likely starts for Arizona the rest of the season. College football has lost an original. Mississippi State coach Mike Leach died last night from complications related to a heart condition at the age of 61. He also coached at Texas Tech and Washington State. Leach revolutionized the sport with the air raid offense, but he should be known for much more, says Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin.
There aren't many people that you look forward to seeing every single time, especially on a game day, at conference meetings. And here's this guy just get along with everybody, no matter where you're from, how long you've coached anything. He was so wonderful to everybody, just a true joy to be around. maybe the smartest person I have ever met.
Mississippi State will play in the ReliaQuest Bowl January 2nd against Illinois to honor Leach. World Cup semifinals, Argentina has beaten Croatia 3-0 and advances to play either France or Morocco in the final in Qatar.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, locally on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400, coming to you from the Ingles Studio. Don't forget you can see us in the Ingles Studio live on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on the live video link. That'll get you subscribe to the channel once you're there. That'll get you into the chat, and you'll get the alerts every time that we go live. And are we gonna get alerts like every time one of these little sizzle reels comes out that you've been playing with?
I don't know the answer to that. Maybe. When I know, I'll tell you.
Jeremy's got all the irons in the fire, and he's been playing with the new studio and some of the new video capabilities that we have.
If you saw the 3-round mock draft, you see that the new podcast studio where we'll cut things like that, it has all the toys. It has a clapper. You clap and things turn on.
Really?
And I didn't know that still existed. It also has an Alexa that will do anything I tell it to do.
Really?
It is a lazy man's paradise.
Interesting. Work smarter, not harder.
You thank Corey Short for that,
Absolutely.
Not me. Because he is the one that he championed the work smarter, not harder.
Right. Does not surprise me. Great ideas generally come from that man. Anyhow, it is Week 15 Power Rankings Day here in the Sportsocracy.
Patrick Holt said I should tune the Alexa. Alexa, bring me a domestic light. If I ever learn how to do that.
She won't do that.
There's a way. Might involve a mannequin hand and a Roomba. But I think I could do it.
I would love to see it. But yeah,
challenge accepted.
Anything short of a robot, I don't feel like you're going to be able to make Alexa do that. Although I will say, that's a good chance to get me to put one of those in my house.
An Alexa?
Yeah.
Oh, I have 3 of them.
Yeah, no. Just don't. I have a phone in my hand. I don't need the little thing sitting there. Listening to all my conversations.
Oh yeah.
Logging things for the government.
Oh yeah. Because you're really having some barn burner conversations, I'm sure. I'm sure you've got some great ideas that you're afraid the government's going to steal from you. The thing that freaks me out.
I've just never seen the need.
The thing that freaks me out is when I say somebody's name, and the next thing I know, they appear in my Facebook people you may know, and I didn't do anything but say it.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm going to have to bury you in the yard with all of my money.
It's because she's listening to everything you say.
And that's fine. That's fine. I'm a very forgetful man, and I forget things that I need. So I say, hey, I should buy garbage bags. And the next thing I know, Amazon's like, didn't you say you needed garbage bags?
Right.
Thank you for telling me that.
Here's an ad.
Unsettling that you said that to me, but I'm okay with it.
Week 15 Power Rankings here on a Power Ranking Tuesday. We've made it to through all of the teams that don't have a real chance to make the playoffs.
Except winning the NFC South.
Except for winning the NFC South, right. Carolina Panthers, we realize you still got a shot. Atlanta Falcons still have a shot.
Which that doesn't count because that's the NIT of the NFL playoffs.
Right. Tampa Bay Buccaneers actually leading that division are behind both of those teams that we just mentioned.
And had they not beaten the Saints, they'd be behind them too.
Yeah, because we suck a lot. now the teams that actually have playoff aspirations, like legitimate competitive playoff aspirations, starts at number 18.
With the New York Football Giants.
And this won't be for long. I mean, am I wrong? Am I looking at the Giants in a wrong light here? This is backpedaling. You went from being 7-2, I think it was.
Yeah, they're 4-1-1 in their last 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
The one win in that was the Houston Texans. The fact that you don't have any weapons is caught up to you because teams have figured out how to defend you.
Right. So they're 1-4-1, not 4-1-1.
Yes. I said that.
That would be good.
I said that the hockey way.
Yeah,
My bad.
And this team is not. I mean, they're fine.
No, I mean, it's
but
just
they're not a threat.
It's caught up to you that you don't have any weapons. So it's too easy to defend you. Now, a year from now, look, I think you've actually found something in Daniel Jones, and that feels weird for me to say because I thought he was possibly the worst first-round pick I've ever seen in my life. But I feel like you found a way to use him. Is he ever going to be Josh Allen, which is what we have tried to shoehorn into this Giants offense? No. But he can be the domestic light version of Josh Allen. He's not going to run anybody over. He's not going to win any MVPs. But he's mobile. He can throw on time. He has served to not turn the ball over at an alarming rate in this Brian Daboll offense. So much in the way that I talk about the Detroit Lions, take the layup. It's too hard to find talent in this league. You have the layup in Daniel Jones, and it's not going to cost you a crazy amount. Take the layup.
Yeah, I don't feel like there are going to be many teams fighting you for Daniel Jones.
No. I mean, he's going to get $12 to $15 million on a very short-term deal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. Build the roster out around him. Take that almost like an extended rookie deal. Right. Well, because that's basically what it'll be. Yeah. You'll be on a year or 2 years or 3 years of the 5th-year option. But, I mean, he's never going to get $30 million. He's never going to get $20 million, and he doesn't deserve that.
Right.
But he can be that steady force at quarterback where the defense is good because I see elements with the defense. I mean, the big change is that no Adoree Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So now you play against a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, and you can't shut down either one of them.
No.
Devontae Smith gets what he wants. A.J. Brown gets what he wants, and that's a problem because you can't score with them. So it's just you're a year ahead of schedule, and there are several teams that fall into that. Take the win.
Yep.
We thought this team was going to be 4-13. You won more games in the first month of this season than the vast majority of people thought you would win all year. Take the layup.
Number 17.
The New England Patriots.
All I could hear anybody talk about today about this game was Mac Jones. And it wasn't in a good way.
No, he's horribly limited. He's horribly limited, and I fully believe that he's going full-on Step Brothers with Pat Matricia of, if you don't do something about your face, I'm going to do something about your face for you. That's now 2 times in 2 weeks that I've seen your quarterback just melt down at the sideline. Everything is clunky with this team. Can you beat the Arizona Cardinals? Of course you can, because they're a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Be really 100% honest with yourself moving forward. You're playing at the Raiders this week. Take a stab at that line. Where would you set that line?
New England -2.5, maybe?
It's the Raiders +1, and 80% of the money's on the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell you? That tells you that the Sharps are going talent for talent. You can give me the Mr. Miyagi and the student all you want to. Bill's not the big scary bear the same way that Tom's not the big scary bear.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you can't look at Tampa Bay and go, well, what Tom was doesn't matter. Okay, I want you to carry that same momentum with New England because outside of the New York Jets, they haven't beaten a team that could beat themselves. They've beaten 5 teams that would lose to themselves in an inter-squad scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really obvious when you watch this team. You can't push it down the field. You've got a slew of running backs. The defense is grossly overrated.
The good news for New England is Las Vegas is one of those teams.
Correct.
So that you could get a win out of this, and I would favor you to win, but it all goes back to better coach team.
And that's what you have.
Mm-hmm.
You can out-coach bad teams. The last 3 The last 3 of this season are Bengals, Dolphins, Bills. Good luck with that.
You won't be competitive.
That is 8 and 9 all day. Bill Buttigieg, put the goat in and you won't lose. #Zap. I saw it all night last night just going, I don't know why you don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Mac is obviously having some kind of issue with Patricia. And then they had that awkward hug. Did you see the hug?
No.
The hug was really weird. The hug was like the hug that you give your ex-spouse as you're walking away from divorce court. Like, oh, good to see you. Catch you later. And I'll get out of my face.
Right.
It was awkward. It's all just, it's clunky.
Mm-hmm.
And, Bill's a great coach. Now, the GOAT talk gets under my skin very badly. But it's a well-coached team. It's just a well-coached, very limited team.
Mm-hmm. At number 16.
The Seattle Seahawks.
I have no qualms here.
I don't see how you can have a qualm here.
Seattle is, and I don't know what it is. I mean, Geno's still playing fine. It's just running backs are hurt. All your running backs are hurt. You got Travis Homer going out there, and I don't feel like this defense is as good as we built it up to be in the big run to start out the season.
Okay, I'm going to say this in a way that Greg Cosell said it, but I'm going to say it in a less technical way.
Okay.
Do you know what sleight of hand magic is?
Yes.
It's where you, look over here and pull the blanket up and it's a car. And then we tuck the blanket back down and look over here again and the car's gone. That's what Seattle's offense is. This is just like Tennessee. What Seattle is currently doing is Tennessee light. That's the reason Geno Smith is working. The problem Geno had with the Jets and he had with a slew of other teams is if you put him in an offense where he has too many options, he never can take the layup. Well, in this offense, it's one read. Maybe two at most. And he's not a dumb guy. That's not what I'm saying. He has a cannon arm. He's never really learned how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you give him toys like Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, and I want to go over the top. What Seattle and Pete Carroll have done a beautiful job of is everything is predicated on the run. So everybody has to stack up against the run. I have big DK, big fast DK, that is a matchup nightmare. I have Noah Fant and Will Dissly that are difficult matchups for linebackers. I got Tyler Lockett on the other side. I run this off play action. I get Geno out of the pocket, and he has to make one read. There's one throw to make. There's no decision here. There's no way for him to crash and burn in this offense. The problem is that it's empty calories because now nobody's scared of DJ Dallas or Travis Homer or Tony Jones. They're scared of Kenny Walker. And Kenny Walker's hitting the rookie wall, and it's really obvious. You didn't expect to be competitive this long. Can they sneak in the playoffs? Absolutely. Do I think they're a threat to anybody? No, I don't.
And I disagree that they can sneak into the playoffs. I mean, they need a lot of help to do it. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't think you're going to win all but one of your final remaining games. You got the LA Rams to finish out the season. But
you could beat the Jets. You could beat the Rams.
You go 49ers.
I don't think you're going to.
49ers at the Chiefs and playing the Jets. I don't like your chances in any of those.
The more likely scenario to me is that you lose the next two. You're sitting at 7 and 8. You need a small miracle to make the playoffs. And you come out flat against the Jets, who match up with you very nicely defensively.
Mm-hmm.
And then that Rams game is but again, you're a year ahead of schedule.
Of course.
You were supposed to be awful. You know, and I can't remember now who said this, but somebody was talking about them being overrated. Well, yeah, we thought they were going to win 2 or 3 games at the beginning of the year. So it's not that that they're overrated from where they were. It's that we overvalued them because they beat be honest, you beat a slew of the Rams, the Cardinals, the Giants, the Cardinals again, and you had some really nice luck. You were never a top 10 team in this league. But this is about where you fit. You're about a league average team, which is 10 spots higher than we thought you would.
And I think I come down with a sendo on this one. He says, Jeremy, I don't think that it's a rookie wall for Kenny Walker. It's more of the scheme wall. That you can only run this scheme so long before teams finally catch on to what you're trying to do. And
well, I mean, it's limited because you're cutting the field in half almost on every play.
Right.
And so it is, the more tape you get on it, the more obvious it becomes. One of the biggest narratives of the offseason to me will be what do the Seattle Seahawks do with that pick that's going to end up in the top 3? Because they can have practically any quarterback they want. And they're not going to be up there again. This team has enough talent. I mean, because you got to remember, you're adding Jamal Adams back next year. Right. And now you've got the corners and the secondary to let him be that missile off the edge. You're not picking up here again. I feel the same way about the Detroit Lions. I think you can be fine with the quarterbacks you have, but it may be we're never going to be here again, so we have to do it while we have the opportunity. That will be a interesting narrative between now and the end of April.
Yes. Yes, indeed, it will. So the Seattle Seahawks coming in at number 16. And then comes the team that, well, let's just say they've made a big leap in the last couple of weeks.
There's going to be some fun anger at the next team.
We'll get to number 15 on the Week 15 NFL Power Rankings next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound delays west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County 40 westbound is stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. Sardis Road northbound stop and go between Brevard Road and Sand Hill Road. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lee Benfield with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. This fall, there are updated COVID-19 booster shots designed to help protect against recent Omicron variants. If it's been at least 2 months since your primary series or booster, schedule your updated COVID-19 booster dose at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7 with supplies and solutions for every industry and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
Hey, I go to church, just not during televised sporting events.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Where is the... Oh, why do you not have the belt displayed?
Well,
I thought there was something missing from behind your head.
Well, I mean, because it's really not fair to show all of you something that I'm never going to allow you to have.
It's never going to belong to any of us but you.
It's like showing a child a candy cane and then going, you can't have this. I'm going to eat it in front of you.
This week will be week 2 of the Battle for the Belt playoffs as Jeremy won this past week the DFS weekly contest benefiting Eblin Charity St. Nicholas Project. It is now all done, but crowning the champion. We have made the donation to Eblin Charities. We have the belt in hand now, and now it's all just about crowning the winner. And can someone, for the love of God, beat Jeremy? Please.
Well,
I can't do it myself.
In week 1,
I mean,
the answer was a big old resounding no.
This is much like it would be me, coming to a fight. Hey, somebody needs to beat Jeremy Greene in a cage. I'm gonna need somebody else to do it.
I'm gonna need help or a bat.
Exactly.
In week 1, the answer was a resounding
no.
'Cause I won.
That's right. Jeremy takes home the bonus points for the week win in week 14.
The standings are up on the social media, so you can see where you're at. There are a lot of you that still have a chance. Tank is in, 11th?
Yeah, I think so.
You have an 8-point lead over the cut line. So this is a huge, vital week for who wins the belt.
It is indeed. If I have another week like I had this past week, I may not make it.
And we have one of these.
I'm your huckleberry.
Jekyll, welcome to the House of Reprehensibles. We haven't done that in a while.
We haven't.
We'd put more of an emphasis on that.
Old Jekyll 90. We are like a AA meeting for sports, so name your drug of choice.
Mine is going to continue to be Greg Dulcich. Because I'm going to ride that train until she just comes completely off the
Until
tracks.
those wheels just fall right off. Indeed. And your former drug of choice did not have a good night last night. Devontae Parker.
He was one of 43 members of the Monday Night Football game that didn't make it to the end. If you missed the first quarter, the offenses looked drastically different than they did in the beginning.
Indeed. Investigation time. We've got to figure out what happened with the concussion protocol with Devontae Parker. Anyhow, Monday Night Football was not worth your time last night. So that's why I didn't waste any of mine.
I watched every snap of it.
As you do.
You know why? Because it's football.
That's right.
And it's not just football. It's Monday Night Football.
Week 15 power rankings continuing here in the Sportsocracy. Number 15.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is the only team in this group that doesn't really have a shot at the playoffs. I mean, they need a miracle to happen. They will have to win out and hope that, the Tennessee Titans just completely lose their minds.
I'm just saying, there's a Dallas Cowboys there that I'm not overly sold on. There's a New York Jets
they don't
there.
compete with them for the playoffs.
No. I'm talking about their schedule.
Oh.
And then the New York Jets, the Houston Texans, and a Tennessee Titan team that may be playing for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So this may sound strange. You're going to have to win one game that you're not supposed to, which is the Cowboys. And I'm not so sure that I don't like that, and Vegas does too.
Interesting.
Look, no quarterback in the NFL has been playing better than Trevor Lawrence. When you have a quarterback like that, it changes everything. When you can do what they just did to the Tennessee Titans, it changes everything.
Mm-hmm. And the question becomes, is this here to stay, or is this same old inconsistent Jacksonville?
And it very well could be.
Because this is a team that got frog stomped by the Detroit Lions 2 weeks ago. I get they did have the comeback against the Ravens, but that's not really the Ravens. You know, it's just a shell of what we believe the Ravens should be. I'm not ready to believe this much in the Jacksonville Jaguars. I feel like this is an overreaction.
I don't.
But
I
Trevor
don't because
Lawrence,
that offense is really good.
It's hard to deny the turnaround Trevor Lawrence has had the last few weeks.
And
Absolutely.
I think there's a path if they win out and they interject themselves into the playoff race. Could they get slaughtered by the Cowboys? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are young and they are inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
But I have in the last 4 weeks seen the Trevor Lawrence that made me really sad that we won a meaningless game against the Rams and wound up with Zach Wilson.
Number 14.
I still feel like that is – I could have had a brand new Nissan Frontier from Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville. Well, you won a game. Second place, a pogo stick that now you have to hop to work. Number 14, the Washington Commanders.
I couldn't have this team anywhere else.
That's the only spot that made sense.
And it's not – and again, you know me. I'm the Washington Commander hater. But Taylor Heineke just continues to make them relevant. And that's all you could really ask for. And it's all he's done since he's become the starter.
The defense. The defense is the difference. There are a lot of teams in the top 14 that cannot play dead in the Western on defense. Washington can. And when you can play defense, and there are two other teams that have this in common that we will talk about momentarily, you're going to get a few more flowers from me than you probably get from other people.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, they have weapons. Here's what nobody wants to talk about. The Washington Commanders or the New York Jets of the NFC. They're the same team. You have a limited quarterback with really good weapons. You run the ball a lot with mediocre running backs. Your line leaves a little bit to be desired, but you have some dogs on defense.
Right.
And who knows?
And who knows how the season's going to end up going from here on out. Granted, you did play to a tie with the New York Giants the last time out. I don't foresee that happening. I foresee them getting the win against the Giants.
I do too.
Then you're going to lose to the 49ers, probably.
Probably.
Beat the Browns.
Probably.
And the Cowboys, who knows what that
Cowboys
last
who
week,
are probably playing for absolutely
right,
nothing.
Who knows what that last week brings. All you got to do is win 2, and you're guaranteed in.
Well, the Cowboys are going to be playing they're going to have at least a full game advantage on everybody in the wild card. They're not going to win the division because I don't think Philadelphia's losing another game.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you playing for? So if you're telling me I get Cooper Rush and Rico Dowdle and James Washington, yeah, I have a funny feeling Washington's going to beat that.
Yeah. Win 2, and you're definitely in as a wild card team in the NFC. So Washington Commanders, good luck. And what, you'd end up playing the 3 seed?
Yeah, no, if they're
they'd be the 6.
They'd be the 6. So yeah, they'd play the 3.
Yeah,
which would probably be San Francisco again.
Which I don't like for you.
No, I don't either.
But making the playoffs, still something didn't believe you were going to do earlier in the season.
Yeah, you're in the tier of teams that you'll be really happy if you make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You should have very light expectations from there.
Right.
Like our next team that we'll get to momentarily.
That's right. It's time to get weird.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
As 2022 comes to a close, you knew I was going to find this story somewhere because I am I'm an idiot and I like meaningless records. We know this when we talk sports. I like to talk about records and the chase for
participation trophies.
And not necessarily. I mean, these are still feats. Setting Guinness Book of World Records. I mean, that's a feat. You're interested in doing it.
There's only one I want to
just possibly not doing it in the manner of some of these people. So found the article today. The weirdest world records broken in 2022. I'm not going to give you all of them. I actually already gave you one of them not too long ago on this here program, which was, remember the longest beard chain, where a whole bunch of dudes in Wyoming got together and tied their beards together to create a 150-foot chain of facial hair. I just thought, why would you ever attempt to do this next one? So, that was the wrong one. I apologize. Jacob Chandler of Oregon found all 26 English language letters in a can of alphabet soup and placed them in order on a tray in the fastest time ever. 2 minutes and 8.6 seconds. First off, somebody did that already? And second off, what are you doing, Jacob? Why? This guy must love search of words, I guess.
Who still eats who still eats alphabet soup?
I have
Get
no
some
idea.
chunky soup. Campbell's makes a delicious canned soup. And you can have all of it.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 8.6 seconds to find all 26 letters and put them all in order. And Chandler said that the most difficult aspect of practicing for the record was having to learn to identify quickly the subtle differences between the M's and the W's. Chief, great work.
There is no difference.
Great work.
Except one of them is upside down. My story comes from Elk Rapids, Michigan. It's the Christmas season, and this is a time that many employees around the country get a lovely little bonus. Well, this time last year, the employees of the village in Elk Rapids got a lovely little Christmas bonus. They were paid their salary double. So they all thought we just got a Christmas bonus. This is good times. There's only one problem. It wasn't a bonus. The village manager accidentally paid everyone 2 times. Not necessarily a problem if no one notices it or if you have excess funds.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of those things happen to be the case. Well, the village manager just came up for re-election. And he said, if he is reelected and the funds are not returned, then he will pay for them. Well, 2 problems. A, he didn't have the funds to do that. B, he didn't get reelected.
Oh.
So now we have $15,000 that has not been repaid, and that serves to be a little bit of a problem. And there is another layer of problem with this. The guy's name is, or the village president's name is Jim Janis. Well, he's married to a woman named Carrie Janis, who also happened to be the village treasurer at the time. So this is like a whole great big nepotism problem of, well, there's 2 households that have boo-boo kittied this badly, and now none of you are in the job you were originally in. That is why people like me don't trust the government. We can't even figure out how to pay you right.
And I feel like this goes back again. Just because it winds up in your bank account doesn't mean you get to keep it.
Lies. You put money in my bank account, it's mine. It is mine, and if I spend it, that's on you.
That is at least a 5 fa.
Here's the thing.
And depending on how quickly you spend that money and what time they come back to collect, you may 8 fo. I feel like Christmas is not the best time to go back to people and say, hey, will you give us that money back?
Well, here's the thing. If you ever make this problem with me, depending on the amount of money that it is and what I did with said money when you put it in my bank account, we talk about FAFO. That's what you just said.
Yes.
Well, you'll learn that I not only do I have FAFO, I also have FMOD.
FMOD?
Yep. Fake my own death.
No. Dead. Can't repay you.
Can't repay it. DED dead. Meanwhile, there's a big mulleted guy in Aruba party with his new friends.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, number 13 in the Week 15 Power Rankings coming up next. And just to give you one hint, show your wrist there, Jets fan.
13. This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Big winter storm system taking shape in the heart of the country. It rolls our way for midweek with some 1-inch rains here in the valley Wednesday night, Thursday morning. 35 our low tonight with increasing clouds. Rain chances going up Wednesday afternoon, high 47. Heaviest rain Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. And then rain Thursday morning with a high of 50 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slows approaching Long Shoals Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. And Sardis Road northbound is slow between Brevard Road and Sand Hill Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound and northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road light delays southbound between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Friday Health Plans. Friday Health Plans is designed for people who buy their own health insurance, with benefits like unlimited $0 primary care and mental health visits. Get a quote at FridayHealthPlans.com and see if you qualify for $10 insurance. All plans issued by Friday Health Plans of North Carolina, Inc.
Holiday shopping is exhausting. I hit like 30 stores already. You?
I went to Verizon.
Oh, and?
And that's it.
Seriously?
Seriously. I got the new iPhone 14 Pro on Verizon, plus more Apple gifts like Apple Watch SE, iPad, and Beats Fit Pro, also on Verizon. A value of up to $1,900.
Seriously?
Yeah, the iPhone 14 Pro is perfect for my teenager. Its new Pro camera system takes amazing pictures, even in low light. She's gonna love it.
So who gets the Apple gifts?
Oh, the Apple gifts? I'm keeping those for myself.
Kinda like a finder's fee?
More like a holiday miracle.
Seriously.
This holiday, get to your Verizon store for their best deal of the year. A service plan is required for gifts. 5G phone, up to $999.99 device payment purchase or full retail purchase with newer upgrade smartphone line required. Less up to $1,000 trade-in promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for offer details. Up to $1,900 value based on iPhone, Apple Watch, iPad, and Beats.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge rolls on. Make your picks by the Thursday night game at ESPNAVL.com. Weekly winners win a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and a register for the grand prize, a year's worth of golf for two at Chestnut Mountain Golf Course.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
The Ingles Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at Asheville outlets as a reminder of the needs of so many families in western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations. Donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville outlets so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this season.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
Welcome back into the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville on a Power Rankings Tuesday. It's time for the number 13 team in the NFL.
The Jets, Jets.
Ah, those Jets. You need to find some offense, my friend.
Offense has been fine. I mean, look, you're not going to beat teams like the Buffalo Bills. Consistently.
Except for the last time you did.
Consistently.
Okay.
The defense is very good. But, you need to not get Mike White killed. Because there was a point there where I thought, are we going to have to scrape him up with a shovel the next time? It's two of the hardest hits I've ever seen on quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
You've got all the pieces. All right, the defense is really good, which is going to give you a shot to beat practically anybody. Detroit Lions this week. Sorry. But you could also lose to teams that you shouldn't because the offense is still just a little clunky. You're, without a doubt, a year ahead of schedule. There's no doubt you're a year ahead of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple people have actually already said that this seems a little low for the Jets. Here's my problem. When we did this, we said this is who can make noise in the playoffs. I don't know that Mike LaFleur can ever be the play caller that allows you to make noise. A, because you are way too predictable. B, because you have an absolute obsession with throwing to receivers not named Garrett Wilson. Corey Davis, I get. Elijah Moore, I get. Braxton Berrios, stop doing that. It's now burned you 2 weeks in a row. It's little things like that. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts. And these are the things that you could expect with this young of a coaching staff. It's a good team. Mm-hmm. It's a talented team. Mm-hmm. It's also a very hurt team. You're on your 4th running back.
Yes.
You've started 6 offensive tackles. Mm-hmm. Now you got Quinnen Williams that may or may not play this week. Mike White is banged up with a rib issue. I can't have you any higher than this, and as you see the teams, you'll understand why.
Yeah. The New York Jets, like I said, to me it is very concerning that you can't score. And obviously that's very important to winning games. Sure, you can limit your opponents, but when it comes to the playoffs, you're going to have to be able to do that and score points. Because even that shutdown defense, if it has to go up against the Cincinnati Bengals or a Kansas City Chiefs or the Buffalo Bills, you're going to have to be able to outscore that team, and that's something that you haven't proven you can do in the last couple of weeks.
No, but I also feel like you're undervaluing. You can stop them at a rate that very few other teams can. You keep saying this team can't score. They're top 11 in. Well, no, they're not. They're right in the middle of the pack. I flipped the chart by accident. It's not that unsettling to me. It's a young offense. Mm-hmm. You got a quarterback that's going into his 7th start, a running back that's going into his 3rd start. You're way ahead of schedule.
Yep. Number 11. Number 12. Excuse me.
The Tennessee Titans. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do with this team.
What's wrong? Again, we have to ask, is it the wall? Has Derrick Henry hit the wall?
Well, Derrick Henry was fine this week. The problem is that the defense is gnarly at times. It's one of the worst passing defenses in the NFL. And you catch a team like Jacksonville that just throws all over you, and Ryan Tannehill can't keep up.
No. But I guess, do we think he can keep it up the rest of the season?
Derrick Henry?
Yes.
I mean, I think you're closer to the 18th hole than the first, and I don't think that's not even a spicy thing to say. That's that's the truth.
Yes,
you cannot run a running back this aggressively. But I mean, you've lost 3 weeks in a row, and you've been dog walked twice.
Mm-hmm. Staring straight at that Los Angeles Chargers game this week, Derrick Henry. Probably be a pretty good play if you're playing in DFS.
I was about to say, if you're playing in the battle for the belt and you don't have Derrick Henry, I need you to explain that to me in 500 words or less.
Look, he's got the Chargers and the Texans the next 2 weeks. So he's going to be able to rack up some yards. Question is, will they be able to rack up some wins?
Well, I mean, this team needs everything to be right. This week you had Chig Okonkwo. Before that, you had Treylon Burks. I want to see what this team looks like when you have all of them. Mm-hmm. When you got Robert Woods on the outside, who's the best blocking receiver in the NFL. Treylon Burks, who's a great young receiver. Okonkwo, Austin Hooper that can do things as a receiver and a blocker, and Derrick Henry. I want to see what that team looks like. It's just been I haven't seen it all together yet.
Right.
Now, you might see it in the playoffs. They're going to get a home playoff game, and I'm not going to tell you that's a team that I'm running out to play. But you also have to realize they're either going to get Baltimore or Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure I like that on either side for you.
No. Number 11.
The Los Angeles Chargers.
Go ahead and do it.
Go Chargers, go!
Did you really get the big boost that you wanted from this past week? Yes, it was a must-win game. Yes, you won it. But do we think this is the turnaround the defense needed against the Miami Dolphins?
You didn't get bled like a catfish running. They didn't run the ball down your throat, which is one of the first times I've seen that happen all year. And this team will always have a yeah but to me because they have such an issue with the coaching staff, and there's so many just absolutely asinine decisions that I see on such a ridiculously high rate. But when Mike Williams is on the field, and yes, I know he treats his body like a crash test dummy, so he gets hurt a lot. But when he's out there and Keenan Allen's out there and you have Josh Palmer that has evolved into a really good 3, I told you.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Eckler, I mean, this is an offense that scares you. The thing is that you've got to see the defense do what they did last week, which is they held a good Miami offense in check. Do I think they can do that consistently? I don't know. I just don't know.
My answer for the rest of the season, yes. I think you will be able to because, I mean, you just got to look at their schedule. You play the Titans this week.
This
now,
is the last game that you have a legitimate shot at losing without it being a 5-alarm fire.
I was going to say a legitimate excuse to lose the game. You're not as good against the run. Derrick Henry comes out and punches you in the mouth, has a big game. You can definitely see where this game can go the other way. Then you go Colts, Rams, Broncos. If you lose any of those games and miss out on the playoffs because of it,
LMNO fired.
Yeah, Brandon Staley will not survive.
I'm not sure Brandon Staley can survive anything short of a playoff win.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure he can survive anything short of a playoff win.
Possibly.
Because Sean Payton is out there and has expressed through back channels an interest in this job.
Now, that changes a lot of the discussion, but if that's not on the table, if Sean Payton wants to go back to New Orleans like you were saying in the last hour, and it's just, do we fire him and take a shot on somebody random on the market? No. He just got you to the playoffs. It's a step in the right direction. I think making the playoffs is a must for Brandon Staley to keep his job. The problem for him is if you don't do it, you have no excuse.
No, and then you are without a doubt looking for work.
Yeah, if you're any worse than 10-7, you are going to be out of a job.
I mean, look, there's a lot of good teams in the AFC. And I do think that for the Chargers making the playoffs would be a step in the right direction. I just feel like you're taking these steps in such an incremental pace, and you're getting ready to have to break the bank on Justin Herbert.
Yes.
Which changes everything. I know the salary cap's going up. I know it's going to be by a lot. It's still going to be a headache to have a $50 million cap charge on your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So this is – I feel like that step needs to be taken. And this is a very important year to do that.
You're in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. We continue with the Week 15 Power Rankings with the top 10 coming up next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Lane delays 26 westbound between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County 40 westbound. Stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. On the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, traffic volume is moving well, busy and steady. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road, a few light delays. Checking the drive time from Bent Creek to Avery Creek via NC 191 southbound. Drive time 10 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Friday Health Plans. Friday Health Plans is designed for people who buy their own health insurance, with benefits like unlimited $0 primary care and mental health visits. Get a quote at FridayHealthPlans.com and see if you qualify for $10 insurance. All plans issued by Friday Health Plans of North Carolina, Inc.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
The Ingles Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at Asheville Outlets as a reminder of the needs of so many families in Western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations. Donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville Outlets so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in Western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this season.
The Sportsocracy. We treat star athletes better because they're better people.
That's not fair.
Life isn't fair, kiddo. Get used to it.
It's ESPN Asheville. Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene. We are the Sportsocracy, and check us out at thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link. Watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. You get all those live alerts. Ascendo said that the going back to the Chargers real quick, that the Chargers have a very unique problem that the Browns and Dallas had for a long time, and they really still do. They're on paper one of the most dynamic teams and scariest teams on paper, but they're just clunky.
I would agree with that. A lot of that has been hurt. The problem for the Chargers is that this is like a beach house that's built on popsicle sticks, because you have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams that are constantly hurt for completely different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You also live by a tenet that I have screamed for multiple years. When you can't run, you can't stop the run, your winning possibilities get cut into about a third, because teams can bleed you out and you cannot do it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Which might be, if you watch the 3-round mock draft, why they took who they did. And if you haven't, this would be a great time to go do it. See what I'm talking about.
At number 10 in the Week 15 Power Rankings,
the Minnesota Vikings.
The Vikings coming off the loss to the Detroit Lions. And did it ever feel close to you?
No.
Watching that game, did you ever have a doubt that the Detroit Lions were going to win?
It was super unsettling to me that you watch Justin Jefferson just get whatever he wanted. And it really didn't matter.
No.
Kirk Cousins was good. It didn't matter. And I feel like Minnesota's going to run into this problem. You can beat teams like the Jets, even though you didn't deserve to. You can beat teams like the Patriots, even though I could argue you didn't deserve to. You can beat a team like the Bills when they turn it over 4 times, even though I feel like you didn't deserve to.
Right.
You can also lose games like this where you did everything right offensively and the defense just let you down.
Exactly.
The Lions got whatever they wanted. That is the reason. Now, I had the wrong piece. Oh, well, one of them. DJ Chark was the right call. DeAndre Swift was the wrong call.
Great news for the Minnesota Vikings, though. Although you have the worst pass defense in the NFL, 3 out of the next 4 games to end the season, you play teams that can't throw the ball. So congratulations. This is going to be a 14-3 team.
Okay, I'm looking at the next 4 games. I'm trying to figure out which one of those you think can throw it. Because it's the Colts, the Giants, the Packers, and the Bears.
I was excluding the Packers because they're coming of age, kind of. We're seeing some more maturation with the young receivers and Aaron Rodgers. You never really count him out. I'm not saying they're going to lose that game. By no stretch am I saying you're going to go 4-0 to end out the season here after this Detroit Lions loss. I almost see no path to anything else happening. But you go Colts, Giants, Bears, other than the Packers, that secondary and the problems that you have in it do not concern me for the Minnesota Vikings.
The defense scares me. The defense scares me because if you look at the NFC, you're going to have to beat Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Taylor Heineke, who has weapons. I mean, is there a possibility that Minnesota comes out of the NFC and never plays a team that can just throw all over the yard on them? Yeah, it's a very specific path.
Mm-hmm.
And my fear is that you're going to see that team that you just saw, who we haven't said yet.
No, we haven't.
Oh, wait. We haven't said that team yet, have we?
No, we haven't said that team yet.
That's weird.
The team that was ranked number 24 just 3 weeks ago in these here power rankings. But my, how a season can turn around, a winning streak can buoy the image of a team. And especially after you just handled the best team in your division. Thoroughly. Never was close. And we still haven't said that team's name.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, and I feel like that's probably going to get quite a rousing discussion at the beginning of the next hour.
I'm sure that it will.
And it's the same discussion that we had when I showed him the power rankings, and it elicited a great argument of I don't know about that.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We got the Sports Center update coming up next, and then we'll get into the top 9 of the NFL's Week 15 power rankings, a la the Sportsocracy.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Big winter storm system taking shape in the heart of the country. It rolls our way for midweek with some 1-inch rains here in the valley Wednesday night, Thursday morning. 35 our low tonight with increasing clouds. Rain chances going up Wednesday afternoon, high 47. Heaviest rain Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. And then rain Thursday morning with a high of 50 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 26 westbound between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County 40 westbound. Stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. On the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, traffic volume is moving well, busy and steady. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road, a few light delays. Checking the drive time from Bent Creek to Avery Creek via NC 191 southbound. Drive time 10 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The rumors are true. Nacho fries are back at Taco Bell for a limited time. So if you've been craving those golden fries with their Mexican spices and that warm nacho cheese sauce you dip them in, go to Taco Bell and order some today. Contact store for participation, which varies. The rumors are true. Nacho fries are back at Taco Bell for a limited time. So if you've been craving those golden fries with their Mexican spices and that warm nacho cheese sauce you dip them in, go to Taco Bell and order some today. Contact store for participation, which varies.
As 2022 winds down, what are you going to do to start out 2023? How about the 9th annual Resolution Run taking place in downtown Asheville on Sunday, January the 1st? It's a 5K and a 10K that you can run, walk, or crawl your way to the finish line. The race starts at a reasonable 10 a.m. It's a great running experience in downtown Asheville, and you get a commemorative finisher medal. Part of the proceeds benefit the Asheville Humane Society. For more information and to get signed up, log Log on to idaph.net, idaph.net. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
With what you need to know, Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray will miss the rest of the season with a torn ACL. He will get additional opinions and tests done on the knee. The team hasn't yet discussed a timeline for Murray's return. Sad news from college football. Mississippi State coach Mike Leach died last night from complications related to a heart condition at the age of 61. Leach helped revolutionize the sport with his air raid offense. College football certainly will miss his uniqueness, notes Marty and McGee co-host Brian McGee.
What I love about college football is the uniqueness of it, and no one, to me, was a better example of that than Mike Leach. Everybody in that Mike Leach, Hal Mummy, air raid tree, they're all kind of goofy. You know, they all kind of do things their own way. And so to me, Mike Leach was kind of the ultimate example of that. You didn't have to agree with him, but no one didn't enjoy talking to him or debating with him. Everyone enjoyed talking football with him.
Ryan McGee on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Mississippi State will play in the ReliaQuest Bowl January 2nd against Illinois to honor Leach. World Cup semis, Argentina defeated Croatia 3-0 and will play in its 5th World Cup final, taking on either France or Morocco.
Make better hiring your first New Year's resolution. Indeed's all-in-one hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. You can hear us on all those frequencies locally here in the Asheville area. 1400 up in Haywood County, and you can take us with you everywhere you go. Don't have to worry about the terrestrial signals being in reach with the iHeart Radio app. You can get us live or on demand on the iHeart Radio app, and you can see us everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat and get those alerts when we go live. You're not going to want to miss this weekend's Fantasy Game Time Decision show, because Jeremy has won the first week of the playoffs of the Battle for the Belt, our weekly DFS contest, and I mean we gotta get all the golden nuggets from Jeremy so we can try to take him down. I mean, we tried to do that this week, it didn't work.
That's weird. I even told you what I was doing. I went full Babe Ruth. I'm gonna put this ball over that fence.
We all knew this week was coming, ladies and gentlemen. We knew there was going to be the week that he won, and he would be completely insufferable. The worst part for all of us is that it came 3 days after the belt arrived and just 3 weeks before we give it away.
Oh, yeah. This Sunday, I believe there will be a unveiling of a character of mine that is centered around one of my favorite professional wrestlers of all time.
We've been awaiting the arrival of Hick Flair.
Nope, may not be that one.
This isn't Hick Flair?
No, that's coming too, but that's coming in a different that's being tied into something else.
Aha.
I'll just give you a little hint.
Oh, God. Oh, the $1 Million Mullet. Can't wait.
I can't do that. Somebody already stole that.
Did they really?
Yeah, it's a song by a rapper.
Is it really?
Yep. And I tried to get a license on it, and I was vehemently.
You were told to go
rejected.
somewhere?
Yes. Give you a hint. The directions were down.
South. Way down south. And he was not willing to do that. So, anyway, Week 15 Power Rankings, we are into the top 9. And no, we have not yet mentioned the team that beat the Minnesota Vikings this past week, which caused lots of just groaning and grunting on my side of the desk earlier today when Jeremy said the number 9 team in the Week 15 Power Rankings is...
Have the Los Angeles Chargers at 11. the Minnesota Vikings at 10, and at number 9, the Detroit Lions.
I mean, am I the only one that has that reaction that goes, this is okay? I mean, we've been making the case that this is a good offense, that there's something about the team chemistry with this team. Dan Campbell, while he's a crazy person, his leadership seems to work and inspire his group. But this still feels like recency bias.
Mm-hmm.
To have them at 9 on the power rankings.
And here is the problem. If you only saw the last 6 weeks of the Detroit Lions, where they beat the Packers in what was the grossest game I've ever seen, beat the Bears in what was way closer of a game than you expected, throttled the Giants when they still had living, breathing pieces, almost beat the Buffalo Bills on Thanksgiving, demolished the Jaguars, and then got the Vikings in pretty convincing fashion. Where would you have them? This is what I battled with all morning long. Of if I hadn't seen anything before that, and I'll tell you why I did this in a second, where would you have them? Just the last 6 weeks. That historically bad defense wouldn't be a thing. You wouldn't be saying that. Because over the course of the last 6 weeks, the defense has been exponentially better. Just completely made Dalvin Cook irrelevant. And secret time, you did it to Travis Etienne the week before. And secret time, you did it to the Buffalo Bills the week before. The front seven is way better than you think. Way better than you think. And the offense is evil. That offense, when everybody's on the field and you've got Josh Reynolds, who is a giant, who is basically serving as their de facto tight end. You've got 2 high flyers in Jameson Williams and DJ Chark, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's the best over-the-middle receiver in the NFL. How am I supposed to defend that?
And then you got Jamal Williams,
who's leading the NFL in touchdowns. Oh, yeah, and you have this other guy that they just refuse to give high-level tote to, which is the better of the 2 running backs, in DeAndre Swift.
Yep.
Oh, and you have one of the best offensive lines in the league.
Yes. The offense was never the problem. It was always the defense. How much do you believe in that defense? I mean, I guess the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, you did give up 30 points to the Chicago Bears. You did lose to the Buffalo Bills. Now, I get holding the Minnesota Vikings to 23 points. That's pretty good.
While giving Justin Jefferson everything that he wanted. You let them throw for 4 bills on you. I'm not telling you this team's perfect.
No.
I'm not. What I'm telling you is this is the team that anytime I talk to somebody around the league, and you can infer where I'm headed with this because who's the team I'm closest to? And who do the Detroit Lions play this week?
The New York Jets.
This is the team that nobody wants to see right now. Nobody wants to see them. Because there is a narrative that all this team can do is score on you, and it's not true. I felt like that narrative would switch with the Vikings, and then I got the ESPN Power Rankings, and Detroit was below the New England Patriots. And after I got done laughing and cleaned the piddle out of my pants, I went, that's wrong. Just patently, ridiculously, utterly stupid and wrong. And then I got here. And I'm going to be honest with you, I wanted him 1 spot higher.
He did. He really wanted to put them ahead of the team at number 8.
The Dallas Cowboys.
But I mean, come on.
One of them should have lost to the worst NFL team I've ever seen.
I get it.
Well, they were just looking ahead. That's the point. That's the point I've been trying to prove with Dallas. I've literally heard this said from Cowboy fans. We can beat anybody. We can lose to anybody. Why does that happen? Because you're poorly coached. I'm not disputing that Dallas has talent. If I could put Dan Campbell on the Cowboys, take that entire staff, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, take them all to Dallas.
Yep.
Super Bowl contender. With Mike McCarthy, I will not be shocked if the Detroit Lions found a way to knock Dallas out of the playoffs. Because if they played right now, I would take Detroit over Dallas, and I wouldn't think about it. I wouldn't even think about it, and I would be heavier on it than you would ever imagine.
Yeah. I can't get there. It has been an amazing stretch of the season. There's obviously growth with this Detroit team. Yes, and since week 7, I believe that was, when they lost by 3 to the Miami Dolphins, you've lost 2 games in that stretch. 1 to the Dolphins by a field goal, 1 to the Bills by a field goal. You've won every other game. Now, did you play the toughest of competition in doing so? No, you really didn't.
Do you want to hear the list of teams that aren't in the top 16 of our power rankings that the Detroit Lions have lost to?
Yeah.
Do you want to hear it again? They're the exact opposite of the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't beaten good teams. A handful. Washington, the Giants, the Jaguars, the Vikings. They also haven't lost a game that I look at and go, how in the world did that happen? And you've been competitive with teams well before this transformation happened.
Except for the Patriots. The Patriots game was the anomaly of all of this.
Well, the Patriots game was a disaster. And you know what? They're still 16. So it is what it is.
It is. I understand. I finally got around
to 17.
it.
Sorry, I had the wrong number.
I
17.
thought Jeremy was going to do his famous thing and call me drunk when I came in here saying, I have the Detroit Lions at 12.
Nope.
And he went, oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's not high enough.
I actually was getting ready to call you drunk because I wanted to hear who you actually had in front of them.
Well, I had the Minnesota Vikings ahead of them.
How? I just beat you handily and should have beaten you the first time.
Yeah.
How in the world do I beat you twice?
I get it.
It's one thing
because I'm going to win this division and I'm going to be 14-3.
It's one thing if it's New England and the Jets. Okay, you just have our number. There's no doubt which team's more talented here. I don't think Minnesota's more talented than Detroit. And I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt they're not as well coached.
Mm-hmm.
There's a path both line coordinators get jobs this offseason.
Mm-hmm. Just because a team beats a team doesn't mean they need to be ahead of them in the power rankings. We talk about this all the time.
But when they're close, and I think these two teams are close, that defense for Minnesota is bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the defense is bad for Detroit. It was bad.
It was bad.
But now you've got Aiden Hutchinson, who is showing why he was the number 2 pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest with you, I was dead convinced the Jets would beat the Lions this week, and then I got not from people affiliated with the team, but people around the league. Not so fast, my friend.
The Detroit Lions keep winning ball games, they're going to end up in the playoffs, and they're going to be a team that nobody wants to face. If they get in on that last 7 seed, which they'll have to win 3 out of 4 to do, they could play the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota again.
And I'd take Detroit again.
I probably would,
and I'd take Detroit again.
I probably would, too. But season long, I mean, to me, I still have to have Minnesota ahead of them.
I don't. And Minnesota's beat absolutely no one. And neither have the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but we beat the Bengals, in the second week of the season when Joe Burrow hadn't taken a snap in a year.
Right.
Play them again right now. Just ask me what that line would be because I looked.
Mm-hmm.